All right, let's talk about how to break free, how to stop trading your precious hours for a paycheck. Today, we're diving into 7 different paths to build what's called passive income, where your assets, not your time, are the things doing all the heavy lifting. Let's get right into it.
So let's start with this quote because it really gets to the heart of the matter. We're all taught there's one way to live: get a job, get a mortgage, and then, if you're lucky, retire when you're 67. But what if that whole idea is a trap? Passive income is a totally different way of thinking, where your money can actually grow from the assets you build, kind of like it's growing on trees.
So, what's the real difference here? Well, look on the left. That's the classic hamster wheel, right? Your income is always limited by the number of hours you can work. But then you look to the right. With the passive income path, your assets are out there working for you 24/7, building a money-making machine that doesn't need you to constantly be there pulling a lever. That is the game-changing shift we're talking about. Okay, here's our escape plan for today. We've already touched on the 9 to 5 lies, so next we're going to cover path 1, using your money. Then path 2, using your skills. And path 3, using the stuff you already have. After all that, we'll figure out which one of these paths is the perfect fit for you. Let's kick things off with path number 1, using money to make more money. So if you've got some cash saved up, these first couple of ideas are designed specifically to put that capital to work for you. And we're going to start with a real classic: investing in stocks. Now, this is a really important point. True passive income from stocks isn't about frantically buying and selling all day. No, it's about getting cash deposited right into your account without having to sell a single thing. That's the magic of dividend stocks. You own a tiny piece of a solid company, and they pay you a slice of their profits. The most reliable of these are called dividend kings and aristocrats. These are companies that have been increasing their payouts for decades. But, and this is a big but, here's the reality check. If we want to hit our goal of making $100 a week just from Starbucks dividends, you'd need to have over $216,000 invested. And that, right there, is why this path gets a 5 out of 5 for money needed. It's incredibly powerful, but you gotta have deep pockets to play. Okay, our second big money idea is private investing, basically getting in on a business before it gets huge. And there are really 2 main flavors of this. You've got the angel investor, who usually puts smaller amounts into businesses run by people they know, like friends or family, and they're pretty hands-off. And then you have the shark, who invests with a plan to use their own expertise and control to make that business explode in value. You can see from the ratings, this is kind of a middle-of-the-road option. It takes time to find the right business, and the money needed can be all over the map. A perfect example of a modern shark? Think of Ryan Reynolds. The guy invests in companies, uses his massive social media following to blow them up, and then cashes out for a huge profit. It's a genius move, really, blending influence with investment. Okay, but what if you don't have a giant pile of cash just sitting around? I hear you. And that brings us perfectly to path number 2. This one is all about using what you already have: your time, your knowledge, and your unique skills to build income streams from scratch. The source material tells this great story about a dog trainer named Jamie. He was amazing at his job, but was totally broke because he could only get paid for the hours he worked. The solution? He had to stop selling his time and start selling a product. First, you figure out your special skill, your unfair advantage. Then, you package that skill into a digital asset, like an ebook or an online course. You throw it up on a simple website, and then you tell the world about it. Just like that, your skill becomes an automated business that can scale. Now, if you look at the ratings, you'll see it takes almost no money to start this. But it gets a low score for how easy it is to make that first $100 a week. But here's the thing. Think about it. If you create a digital product and sell it for just $25, you only need to make 4 sales a week to hit that $100 goal. Once the product is built, that becomes so achievable. And that leads us right into our next idea: creating online content. I mean, for decades, all the advertising money in the world was hoarded by big TV and radio stations. But now, platforms like YouTube have blown the doors wide open. They've allowed pretty much anyone to get a piece of that massive pie. So the question is no longer if you should be on social media, but how can you create stuff that really grabs people's attention? It is absolutely no surprise that this gets a 5 out of 5 for time needed. Let's be real, making great content is a grind. It's a long, hard process. But there's a huge upside to that. The harder something is, the less competition you'll have. You don't need a fancy studio, you just need a phone and some good ideas. And every single video or post you make becomes another little asset working to earn you money for years to come. Next up, let's talk about affiliate marketing. And this story explains it perfectly. The author's son's girlfriend found this bank promotion. If she got a friend to sign up using her special link, she'd get $10. So she texted 30 of her friends. They all got some free money for signing up, and she made $300 in a single day without even getting out of bed. That, right there, is affiliate marketing. You earn a commission by promoting someone else's stuff. So this path costs basically nothing to start. All you need is a phone or a laptop. The real investment is your time. You have to build an audience and earn their trust, which doesn't happen overnight. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes patience. But once you've proven your trustworthy source, those affiliate links can become a seriously powerful stream of passive income. Okay, now for what might be the most ambitious idea of them all. This comes from a story about a friend who saw a huge problem in an industry, created a software to fix it, and ended up a multimillionaire. But here's the key insight. You don't have to be a coder. You can be the business brain who identifies the problem and then partners with a tech whiz to build the solution. And if you can make it a subscription service, that's the holy grail of recurring revenue. This is the definition of a high-risk, high-reward path. It takes a ton of time and a pretty decent chunk of change to get a digital tool built. But the math on the income side is just so compelling. If you create a tool and you charge just $20 a month for it, you only need to find 20 customers to hit that $100 a week goal. The potential to scale from there is just insane. All right, on to our final path. This one is all about something that most of us just completely overlook. You might not need to invest a bunch of money or build something from scratch because you could literally be sitting on a gold mine right now. This is all about making money from the stuff you already have. So, the story that goes with this one is about a guy who started renting out his empty driveway to people commuting into the city. Just by doing that, he made an extra $140 a week. That's pure passive income. And it doesn't stop with a driveway. Think about it. A spare room, your car when you're not using it, that fancy camera gear, even the storage space in your attic. There are apps for all of this stuff now. You can even rent out your money through peer-to-peer lending platforms. And the ratings here totally back this up. This is one of the fastest and cheapest ways to get started. It takes almost no time and no money. All you have to do is snap a few photos of your asset and list it on an app. Honestly, if you've got valuable stuff just collecting dust, this is probably the quickest way to start generating some extra cash. So, we have covered 7 different paths across 3 major categories. Let's pull it all together now and see how they really stack up against each other. This table really lays it all out. On one end of the spectrum, you have something like dividend stocks, very low on time commitment, but extremely high on the money you need up front. And on the complete opposite end, you have online content creation. Costs almost nothing to start, but it demands a massive amount of your time. Really, it all boils down to one simple trade-off. What do you have more of right now, time or money? Your answer to that question is your starting point. And that brings us to the final question, the one for you to think about. We all have some combination of these 4 resources: our time, our money, our skills, and the stuff we already own. The trick is to be really honest with yourself about which of those is your biggest strength right now, and then pick a path that plays to it. So, what are you going to use to build your escape plan? Thanks for watching.